Okay. So first of all, let me introduce myself, and then we'll go into the process for this debate. I am Steve Griffin, the CEO of Six Sigma Tech, and we specialize in lean deployment and training. I've been a master black belt for 19 years. I've worked in banking, automotive, lab environment, aerospace, computers. I still work in those areas. We also do work with colleges and community colleges. I am passionate about what I do. My father is a patient, and anytime I hear he has an adverse effect from going to a hospital, I get really angry. And I think that we've been here all week. We understand the situation. The situation is we have to do more with less. All right? So we understand the climate. We understand value-based purchasing. You guys have heard that resonate throughout the week. So this is a discussion or debate where we're going to explore the Lean Six Sigma halt innovation. Okay? So before I let the panelists introduce themselves, it is very important. We want you guys' feedback. For those who ask the most questions, I'll buy you a free drink at the end of the day. Okay. So what I want to do is, from left to right, I want each panelist to introduce themselves.
I'm Karen Feinstein, and I've been nicely introduced.
I'm John Kramer. I'm the Director of Organization Effectiveness and Lean Six Sigma for Memorial Hermann System in Houston, Texas.
I'm Marie Seegers. I'm the Senior Vice President and Administrator of McLeod Health in Florence, South Carolina.
I'm Forrest Breifogel, the President and CEO of Smarter Solutions based in Austin, Texas.
And I'm Bob Hody, the Assistant Director of Lean Sigma Deployment at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore.
As you see, we have a very distinguished panel. So the process will be, I will kick off the question. Each one of these panelists will go through their examples or their thoughts on the question. I will give my thoughts last, and then we want you guys to ask questions on each of the criteria. So that's going to be the process, okay? Any questions? All right. So the first question is, does Lean Six Sigma slow down innovation? And before we answer that, let me give you the definition of innovation, Webster's definition. Innovation is something new, a new idea, a new device. Steve Griffin's definition is man-child creates a brain-child. So with that.
Well, I'm going to do something very frivolous. And you'll excuse me, but I see a number of women out there. Maybe they'll enjoy it. The issue of innovation with all the standardization is something that plagued me at first. And I'll be honest, I went through a university in industrial engineering, and I worried about this. So let me tell you how I started to understand it. Most of us have to get dressed in the morning and get out of the house. And I'm one who never throws anything out. So when they say come as you were in the 70s, I don't come looking like I did in the 70s. I come in what I wore in the 70s. And the same with free makeup. So if you want to get out of the house in a short period of time, I'm going to tell you how I've standardized it to 26 minutes and want to bring it less. But we don't have in our lives lots of time to waste on sort of dumb decisions. There are decisions that have to be made. We have to get dressed. We have to get out of the house. But you don't have time to waste. So the way I try and think of it is, if it's your life in the morning as well, as much as you can standardize so that your clothes are orderly and seasonal and arranged with likes and they're clean and they're pressed. You have a certain checklist. You go right through it in your mind. What's the weather? What meetings do I have? For me, am I meeting with groups that are ultra-religious? Do I need a long skirt and a long top? What did I wear in the last 6 days? But I sort it all out really fast, right? Same with your makeup. I've already plugged in my rollers before I do anything so that they're ready. And I'm out of the house in 26 minutes. It takes my husband an hour. It does. What can he be doing for an hour? So here's the way I like to think of it. It's so standardized, as my driving is, that I can be thinking and planning as I'm getting ready in the morning, as I'm driving to work. We're doing a lot that is standard. It's rote. We've done it over and over, but we have an order to it. And I think that is a lot in contrast with the lives of our workers in health settings. There's so little that's orderly and standardized. And so I gave you all the example of the VA team. They would never have been as successful as they were in being innovative. I showed you a lot of creative things if they hadn't standardized their work and freed up so much time.
I don't know how long it takes me to get dressed in the morning, but hopefully not as long as an hour. So, I want to actually respond to something you had said in your earlier in your presentation about disruptive innovation or just breakthroughs. Because when the question posed, can Lean Six Sigma slow down innovation? It really, for me, it's more about a mindset and the mental process of what really is the value that is the priority for the organization. If creating a disruption in the market is what the goal is, then that's going to require, frankly, a lot more risk-taking and experimentation and willingness to really do things that are going to be where there's a lot of learning involved and a lot of failure that can be associated with it in order to get to that disruption. When you're approaching that task with the mindset of what's in the where traditional Lean Six Sigma plays a role in terms of avoiding risk, in trying to really don't move toward a solution until you're as close to certain as possible that you have the right solution. That's where the approach can actually be in conflict with